Lucky 13 for the Dodgers. Let's step into the on deck circle.
You're listening to the DFS On Deck podcast, brought to you by LineStar App, the top-rated DFS tool set and #1 companion for DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo Daily Fantasy. Go LineStar Premium now at LineStarApp.com. Now, here are your hosts, fantasy baseball experts Joe Pisapia and KC Bubba.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and welcome to On Deck right here on the LineStar app. It is me, it's Casey Bubba, and it's you, and we are breaking down the DFS slate for today, for Thursday, and all of your Major League Baseball glory. We've got a lot to recap from last night's games, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We've also got a look ahead at today's slate, as well as a little DFS theory that I want to drop to everybody, something we did on the show last year quite a bit. And I did it last night in some lineups, and it really worked. And I want everybody else out there to be doing it as well, to joining the success. But Bubba, another fun night of baseball. That's right, baseball. We actually have baseball. And it looks like we can still have extra innings, even with somebody on second base, because the Dodgers and Astros went 13 innings. So there you go, everybody. You got your extra innings back. Are you happy now?
Yeah, it was so much fun, wasn't it? So much fun. Just don't use any strategy. Just play the game and see what happens. We go 13 innings still.
Yeah, there you go. Just play the game. No strategy from Dusty Baker. Just play the game. Try to figure it out. You know, it's nice to see strategy in baseball, by the way. I know they did a breakdown on MLB Network about it, and it was actually good. It was like, yes, I noticed this too. It's why I like this rule. I know a lot of people saying, no, it's stupid. You know what? No, I don't need 16, 17 inning games. I don't need teams being destroyed for the rest of a week after one of those kind of games. I just don't need it. I don't want it. It's not good for fantasy. It's not good for reality. Look, it ended in 13, so that's reasonable. So you still get the 13-inning game no matter how much you try. You can never peg baseball in a hole. Now, one thing we did peg yesterday, by the way, Brandon Woodruff, good game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the GPP arm of the night was very, very good. We were all over Woodruff. I got a little discouraged there for a little bit, Bub. I got to be honest with you, because Lindblom's back upset me. Hauser was as good as I wanted to be. And I said, nope, I'm going to triple down. I'm going to go with Woodruff tonight. And sure enough, we finally hit there. Also, we hit with Garrett Cole, which is easy. But again, we kind of, Scherzer was good too. But Garrett Cole and Scherzer and DeGrom, when you have a lot of big names, it's important to pick the right one, because you got to make sure that you get the guy who's going to give you the most points for the big premium price. And unfortunately for Jacob DeGrom, he plays for the Mets, which is always an albatross around his neck. But this is something I did last night, Bubba, and I took cash game lineups and I put them in big tournaments, and they cashed everywhere. I had a Garrett Cole lineup that had 150 FanDuel points last night, and it cashed everywhere in every big tournament. And this is the point that I'm trying to make. And I did this last year. The bigger the tournament, if you play a really good cash, and I mean a solid one, like I got, I had Michael Franco in this, but it also had, a lot of names that we talked about yesterday. Keston Hiura. It had, Aaron Hicks is a guy we talked about yesterday. Stanton, McNeil. So basically it was the Yankee stack with Cole, and then the kind of hitters that Bubba and I like to target. And wouldn't you know it, it's a good enough lineup. It's going to cash. Is it going to win the tournament? Probably not. But it's going to cash in it. And it's funny because big tournaments shy people away, and the multi-entry sometimes, but everybody's trying to be so strange sometimes, Bubba. What you get is so much dead weight lineups. And this is especially true on the FanDuel side. I don't know as much on the DK side. I've noticed this, Bubba, and I don't know if you've done this as well, but Chris and I last year on the show had a lot of success doing this. And I want to encourage everybody out there to do it. If you have a good cash game lineup that you like, drop it into a big tournament, because you know what? Chalk is not as bad as everybody wants to make it out to be. Sometimes you outthink yourself.
100%. I'm glad you're bringing this up, because it's a strategy that I've employed with golf, with some of the golf stuff I do. Same thing. People try to get too creative, too cute. There's such thing called good chalk. There's so much good analysis out in the world these days that there's a reason that some guys are chalk. It's because they're that good. So just fading them is not always the right move to make there. So I think it's a very good philosophy. It's like the golden rule. No matter what you do, if you build a cash lineup, put it in some tournament somewhere, just because you never know what it's going to do. I think there's a lot to be said about that. It might not ever win it, like you said, because usually you do have to be a little goofy to win it. You have to hit some random things. But to cash, or even cash pretty well, you can do that very well with cash lineups. Not all the time, but more often than not, if you just want a steady flow of green screens, cash lineups will go a long way. So I think that's a Very, very good point there. And that's why I emphasize with the pitching, especially on two-pitcher sites like DraftKings, just take the two guys that you're really, really confident in, take the variance with the bats. You can do that with cash games and be very successful.
All right, let's do a quick fly around of last night, too. Besides Woodruff, who was very good, Michael Franco continues to be hot. So does Keston Hiura. Certainly some good things there. The Yankees pound on the Orioles as we expected them to. So a lot of things that we expected did happen. Indeed, we also saw Nate Pearson make his debut. Giolito got back on track, which was very important. I think we can all agree on that. Moustakas got back on track too, which is very positive. And again, my Mets are inept, but what else is new? You don't need this, but look at your Giants, Bubba. Put up seven runs. Whoa, that should keep them for the rest of the week, right?
Yeah, 7 runs. So they're done for the week. They have 4 home runs in one game, so they're done for that for the week. So yeah, just play Denelson Lamet tonight. Just walk away.
Walking away. That's what Bubba wants to do. All right, so let's get after it and let's look at today. We've got a shorter slate, but lots of games nonetheless. Let's start again with the Orioles and the Yankees. We're finally going to get that J-Hap start I know you've all been waiting for. Once again with the Yankees, Gleyber Torres is cheap, 3.1 on FanDuel. DJ LeMahieu, 3.3. Aaron Judge went yard last night. You got to pay for him at 4.1. But look, Hicks, 2.4 again. I used him last night. I would definitely go back to that well again. Hit in that 5 hole today, especially, against, look, I like John Means. There's nothing against John Means here, but, it's just, look, first start back there. He's not going to be long for this game. As far as I'm concerned, I'm definitely going to attack this game once again. I don't care if it's chalk. There's going to be runs. And if it's wrong, then I don't want to be right. Over on the DK side of this game, too, look, J-Hap is 10.4. I don't want anything to do with that. Sorry. I don't know how that happened, but that's just absurd. I get it. They're favored, but still, I don't know if I have that kind of confidence in J-Hap. And you do have to pay a bigger variance, too. I mean, you're talking about Stanton at 5.5, Gleyber Torres at 5.1. You look at the Torres price on DK compared to FanDuel, Bubba, it's not even close.
Yeah, definitely. FanDuel definitely favors the Yankees side of the action, like you mentioned, especially the Hicks call. But on DraftKings, LeMahieu at 44 seems like almost a must play, especially in cash, let alone with some Yankees action in that one. The rest of the Yankees are pretty pricey, as you mentioned. But one thing I will mention in this game is J-Hap is J-Hap. I get it. If you want to be sneaky in a multi-entry, the Orioles are a very good player. They can hit lefties very well with Nunez and with just blanked on Hanser Alberto hits him very well. Austin Hayes. They could be a very low-owned little GPP chunk if you want to get different.
Well, I love Austin Hayes at the top at 2.5 on FanDuel. You got to pay for on DK though. Again, 4.2 for Hayes. Like Alberto, you're getting a discount at 3.6. That's cool. I'll roll with that. But I don't like the other one. Like it's on the FanDuel side, I think is more of a Baltimore Oppo play than is on DK because it just there's not enough upside there for me at that price. But on FanDuel, there definitely is. That I would look for. All right, let's move on to the next one here. 707. You got the Martin Perez Red Sox against the Steven Matz Mets. Matz is 7.8. Perez is 6.1. That's the FanDuel pricing on DK. Matz is 8.1. Perez is 6. Look, tonight, JD Martinez against the lefty is 5.1 on DK. I love Martinez, though, on FanDuel, where he is just 3.9. He doesn't even crack 4. And this is a great matchup for him against the lefty Mats. I love this matchup. If I'm going to pay up for a bat tonight, he's my guy. McNeil's been very solid, too. This is another guy on the other side of this game, just still under 3K on FanDuel, it's just free points, man. I mean, the guy is a really good baseball player. He puts the ball in play. He has a little pop. He's going to hit doubles. He's going to score runs. He's one of those kind of dudes. I was bummed yesterday because J.D. Davis was out of the lineup. He did get in, as a pinch hitter later, but we were all over that yesterday. Would you go back down to that well again today at 2.4 for J.D. against Perez?
100%. I love J.D. Davis today. Batting cleanup likely for the Mets. 2.4 on FanDuel. 3.7 on DK. Still very affordable. I love the price on J.D. Davis today. Yeah,
I'm with you on that one. I still can't get with Cespedes. I don't know. It's something about watching him play. It does not excite me right now. Maybe I'm just old and cranky, which is true, which is definitely true. Trying to look for a little value on the DK side. It's tough. You got Pilar in this lineup hitting 5th, probably at 3K on DraftKings. I think that's, if I'm looking here on the other side of this game on DraftKings for the Red Sox, I think it's Pilar at 3. I think it's Chavis at 2.3. It's funny to see Benintendi at bottom of the order. Like I feel like how the mighty have fallen with Andrew Benintendi. Like this guy was supposed to be one of these can't miss guys. And I always thought he was good, but not great. I thought he got a little overhyped because of where he was playing, which is in Boston, which, Boston, Yankees, all those prospects always, have a little bit of a premium on them, maybe sometimes unfairly. But it's just kind of funny to see him like hitting at the bottom of the order. But you know what? I'll take the bottom of the order tonight with Chavis. I'll take it with Kevin Pillar at 5. I think those are two spots where I would pick my spots there. Would you be paying up on DraftKings for JD tonight, or is it impossible at 5-1?
If you're stacking, yes. One-off, no. It's not impossible because you can get some good pitchers in the 8 and 7K range tonight, so you can definitely do it. But he needs to be a part of a stack, and I'm not sure I want to completely stack against Mets. I like the Mets side of it, but Red Sox-wise, it's a little trickier.
All right, let's move on here. You got a great pitching matchup today. Shane Bieber, 9.8 on DK. Berrios, 10.2. You got Indians and Twins. This is what we've, been waiting for, these teams to match up here. This is very exciting stuff. I'm very excited about it because the Indians pitching has been great. They're the only team to have all 5 starters go 6 innings so far. So let's not discount that and how important that's been for the Indians' success early on. And the Twins are basically just pummeling teams into oblivion. And, everybody like Homer Bailey looks good. It's like, he's like, hey, if I get a 7-run cushion, I could probably go out there and pitch for the Twins. But this is a tough one because we always talk about this. When you can see 4 outcomes, that becomes very dicey unless you are a big time multi-entry player and you're going to cover all 4 of them. And I don't think everybody is. And we always talk about that on the show. If you are, and you've got that kind of bankroll, maybe you're the person who decided, you know what, I'm not doing any season long this year. I'm going to put it all on a daily. Then this is a night for you, and this is the game.
Yep.
But how would you approach this? Because this is definitely one of those 4 outcome kind of ball games.
This is one of those with Cleveland because Berrios was so off his last time out, and we saw little stretches of that even last year. Cleveland is a very, very intriguing multi-entry stack, especially on DraftKings where they're affordable. J-Ram's cheap, Lindor's cheap, a lot cheaper than they usually are. Carlos Santana's cheap. You can get the middle of that Indians lineup very, very affordable. And they're not too bad on FanDuel either. Santana's 3,100. You go below that with some of these other guys. Cesar Hernandez leading off at 27. And then some of the cheaper Twins are there as well with Rosario and Kepler on FanDuel. If you want to, you can. I like Bieber a lot more than Berrios in this matchup. But the Indians, especially on DraftKings, could be one of those kind of affordable ones. You can mix them with the Yankees or the Mets a little bit and have some fun if you're multi-entry. But yeah, it's one of those 4 outcome games that really tough. You could easily see like a 1-0 Indians game or something.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. It's surprisingly good on DK, especially considering Berrios was not great the first time out. I would definitely consider Lindor at 4-2, Santana 3-5.
J-Ram at 4-2.
Yeah, I mean, even for Emil, 3-5. Domingo Santana's 2-8. So there's a lot of value there. Hernandez at the top. Like this is actually there's a lot of value here on this game on the Indian side on DraftKings specifically. And again, this is how we break the show down the slate down every day on the show is we're trying to attack the different teams and the different sites in the different ways. It's not about running down a position and telling you this is our favorite shortstop of the night. That's dumb. That's not an approach. It's not going to help you win. What's going to help you win is understanding the variance between what's going on, what's a good play where and when and how and what kind of contest. So that's what we like to do. Look, the Twins are always, in a position to go off here. We know that, but it is difficult because Bieber's been so good. Would you be throwing Bieber out there in cash games at 10-7 as your lone pitcher on FanDuel tonight, though?
No, only GPPs for Bieber, but just because it is the Twins, you have to respect them a little bit. I understand using him, but not in cash.
Yeah, I'm with you there too. All right, let's go to the Rays. You got Yarborough starting things off here at 6.7 against Max Fried, 7-7 over on FanDuel on the DraftKings side. Fried is 8-9. I really like Max Fried tonight at home in Atlanta. Familiar mound. He's a guy who can strike out guys. Look, the Rays lineup is a punch and Judy kind of lineup especially when there's no Austin Meadows in it. So I like Max Fried tonight a lot. He is my favorite standalone FanDuel GPP arm of the night. I don't care how owned it is. I like it. 7-7. That's the dude for me. Also, when you're looking at Marcell Ozuna at 3.5, you're looking at Ozzy Albies at 3.5 too. Those are 2 very good values on FanDuel if you want to get into this game a little bit deeper. What are your thoughts on Fried and the Rays and Braves tonight?
I like Fried for GPP. He's not my top GPP play, but I understand exactly what you're talking about, so I can go that direction. especially at home against a team with, Renfro's got them thumped, but a lot of swing and miss, a lot of lefties in that Rays lineup. But Dansby Swanson at 3,000 is very, very affordable against Yarborough, and he's swinging a very, very hot bat. If you want to ride streaks, Swanson's a guy to target, hit in the middle of that Braves order right now against lefty, so there's value there. Other than that, like Austin Riley at 23 on DK, and then don't forget Travis d'Arnaud's back. I'm not usually a catcher player on FanDuel, but if you want to get stack up on the Braves for cheap, he's 2,300.
No, it's a good night to do that, actually. Like that, this is one of those nights where you're looking at the board and it's actually pretty good because it's not a full slate of games, so you can get a little weird like that sometimes. All right, let's move to the next one here. You got Brady Singer making a second start, 6.8K over on DraftKings. That makes him very appealing in my world as a secondary arm. Are you with me on this one?
100%.
Girl.
He's going to probably be very chalky, and this is one of those chalk pieces that even in cash, I can justify Singer at 68, and that opens up so many bats for you.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that one. Whit Merrifield has been red hot. You have to pay up for him, though. It's 4.1, but he's got Ivan Nova on the mound for Detroit tonight. So guess what? It's going to be lots of Royals again. 3.6 for Jorge Soler. Mondesi's been terrible to start the year.
But still 3,300.
But still 30. And that's the thing. Like I started looking at it, I'm like, all right, well, the guy's not going to hit $150 the rest of the season.
Exactly.
I'll do you one better. 2.6 on FanDuel for
Mondesi.
Oh, I
wow.
mean, 2.6.
It's crazy. Too cheap.
Free square market. Look, last night I was rolling Michael Franco. Guess what? I'm going to do it again today. Give me Michael Franco. Give me Mondesi, Soler, Whit Merrifield. Give me everybody. I want the Royals. I don't care if it doesn't work. I got to have a Royals lineup tonight. It's Ivan Nova. I got to have it. I want it, Bubba. And look, Whit Merrifield, 3.3 on FanDuel. That price, again, price variance. It tells you 4.1, Whit Merrifield is a really, really valued player on DK. He is still valued, but at 3.3 is a big difference in terms of where that is and how you can fit it to lineups. And I think Whit Merrifield tonight's a great play. And Soler is, look, I don't know if he's ever going to match what he did last year, but he's better than what he's shown so far. I think we can agree on that, right?
Agreed. Yep, totally agree. Totally agree.
All right.
And then your cash game catcher, Salvi Perez at 26 on DK.
Yeah, I mean that's and that is so weird on DraftKings to see 2.6. Just go do it. So they're like catchers tonight. That's what we're doing.
Yep, that's your one catcher. Like yesterday, he was 28. I think he was 80% owned in cash games, and that was too low. Like you just play him at that price, no matter what he does.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, next one here, you got the Mariners and Marco Gonzalez against Dylan Bundy. Dylan Bundy at 8.2 on FanDuel. On DraftKings, guess what? Same price. Everybody was copying each other's test. 8.2 there as well. So give me your Dylan Bundy 2 cents, because I know you've got them, and I want you to spend them here in the program for all the listeners.
I'll give you all 2 cents, not just one. Dylan Bundy, I'm a big fan of him. We saw the pitch mix change a little bit towards the end of the year last year at Baltimore. Goes to Anaheim where they utilize it even more, and the pitch mix change is a much heavier slider use away from the batting practice fastball, but it makes that fastball much more effective, obviously, when you're throwing that slide piece a lot. And he did it a ton in his first outing, was very, very effective. Now he gets a Mariners team with a young Mariners team that's been very productive, but also an aggressive young Mariners team that has a lot of swing and miss in it. So I think Dylan Bundy has a ton of upside in this matchup. Going up against Marco Gonzalez gives him some nice win equity as well at home with, a team that's starting to hit better with Rendon coming back. Ohtani went yard last night. I do like Dylan Bundy tonight, maybe more so on DK than on FanDuel, but both very, very good prices, obviously.
Do you put Bundy and Singer together?
Oh, yeah. No, I have 4 pitchers tonight. Those are 2 of them on DK.
Yeah, because that's what it looks like for me, because if you do Singer and Bundy together on DK, you can basically then you can have everything else you want that's really, responsible. And again, it's not always big names. I mean, don't confuse that and conflate that. What we're talking about too is the right plays and the right guys, and some you have to pay and some you don't. We've already talked about that. Like Aaron Hicks's price is absurd. Sal Perez's price is absurd, and they're still good plays tonight.
Yeah, and it's a good thing you mentioned there, because LineStar puts out the optimal lineups every night. Obviously, that's not the winning lineups. We want to clarify that, but the optimals. Like 2 nights ago, the optimal lineup left almost $9K on the table because pricing's so goofy. I'm not saying leave $9K, but if you want to, leave $1,000 on the table because your lineup is very solid, that's fine. That means taking cheaper pitchers and getting bats and still having money left over. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and speaking of which, looking at the value plays on LineStar right now for today's slate, Aaron Hicks, boom, at the top of the thing. And Brandon Nimmo, too, another one, too. Even though it's a lefty-lefty matchup, they still like him quite a bit. in terms of what the value projection might be. And guess what? JD Davis shows up as well. So, it's Martin Perez is very, very hittable. All right, we got 2 more games here on the late slate. So again, if you want to isolate 2, you can with Dylan Bundy. If you want to try to take a little variance out of it, that's cool. We do have some other names here in the pitching slate that definitely I think I know the guy that Bubba likes in cash, and I think I'm the same way. It's going to be in our last game, but we'll see. It's Ross Stripling at 8.4 over on FanDuel against Robbie Ray at 7.9. And on the DK side of this game, Robbie Ray's just 7.1, 8.4 for the Dodgers. Do you take any, I don't know, is there anything to be said for the come down from the Astros series emotionally a little bit and Robbie Ray catching him napping at home?
I think there's definitely something to that. I think Robbie Ray is an intriguing $7,100 GPP play on DraftKings.
He's your alternate, right? When you're like, if you're doing Bundy and you have Singer, he's the alternate flip with Singer, right? Because it's only a $300 difference.
Because they traveled last night, big emotional series. Ray is actually a good pitcher. He's just a control thing. If he can find the zone, he's not a bad arm that could put up some points at that price point.
Yeah, I like this. This is the oppo play of the night is Robbie Ray at home against the Dodgers because the ownership's going to be super low. And the Dodgers are the Dodgers, and that's all fair. But I just, it's like football. Sometimes there's letdown games. You have all this emotion going on in the series. Same thing happens in baseball, too. And Robbie Ray is like the last thing I think you want to run into. Ketel Marte at 5K at the top of this order, too, on DraftKings. But he's just 3.3 over.
That's a little tastier over there.
Oh, my goodness. Give me Ketel Marte tonight at home. I like this play. Yeah, he might be a lock. He's one of those guys, I have those lock guys every day. I'm like, that guy's a lock. Like every lineup's going to have this guy, and that guy. And then I just, and you move the pieces, and that's good. That's the core building stuff. All right, last but not least, Dinelson Lamet, 9.2 on FanDuel, standalone pitcher. There we go. I'm with you. This was my pick, too, on the TV show today at noon when I would go talk about DFS. I love this play. Big strikeout upside. He's going against Kevin Gossman. I know the Giants scored 7 runs last night, so what are the chances they're going to put up back-to-back nights? It's possible, unlikely. Manny Machado still just 3K. Trent Grisham at 2.5. You could do a little stack in here. You could take Tatis at the top or Pham at the end of this little stack here and go 3 in a row. I don't love the bottom of this order. Even though Myers had a good day the other day, I'm still not enamored with the second half of the Padres lineup, but I am enamored with Lamet today. And from all of your sounds, it sounds like you are as well. And he's the same price over on DK too, which is again kind of surprising. We're copying each other's tests again.
Yeah, they got lazy on this one, but play Lamet. That's just one of those. Even though the Giants scored 7 runs, 5 of those were in 4 innings off their bullpen. Paddock went 5 innings, gave it 2 runs. So there's something to be said about that. Lamet will be just fine. And then you mentioned those Padres bats, Tatis, but Machado's swinging it well, too cheap on FanDuel. I love Grisham. He hit a 3-run bomb last night. 2,500 on FanDuel, still cheap at 38 on DK, which I think is very, very affordable. One of those type of plays. I don't mind Will Myers, especially on DK at 36. FanDuel at 32 is a little much, but on DK, I don't hate it. But yeah, this Padres team, you can stack them up. But most importantly, like you said, play Lamet.
Yeah. Look there. We gave you some really good options tonight. We got Fried, Lamet, Bundy, Singer. This is, basically where we're thinking. You see, we're kind of fading away from the Berrios Bieber matchup. So this is your approach tonight. This is our approach tonight. Let's get in there together. Let's win some cash. And Robbie Ray is the oppo play tonight. Let me tell you, I think that is your multi-entry GPP play of the night, is getting Robbie Ray isolated there, because could see a big game from him. It's just one of those things. All right. It's that time again. If you want to win some swag, you can retweet this segment, but it is time to call our home run shot right here on Deck. So, Bubba, who you got tonight? Who is leaving the yard for KC Bubba?
Aaron Judge is leaving the yard tonight. I know it's the easy play, but we're going Aaron Judge.
Yeah, I'm going to go easy too tonight. I'm going to go with JD Martinez there against the lefty, Steven Matz. I think he's got one in him. JD Martinez has been just incredible over the last few years, and I think it's time for JD to start getting hot here as this season goes on. So there you have it. Aaron Judge, JD Martinez, lock it up. Yeah, we went with 2 big stars tonight, but that's okay. Sometimes it's the right thing. And again, it's all about winning. That's what we want to do here. So if you like to win, make sure you are subscribing to the On Deck podcast, and make sure you're checking out the LineStar app over at linestarapp.com. And of course, you can upgrade to that premium product so you can see all the fun things that we see when we prepare for our show here on a daily basis. In the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter at LineStar MLB, at LineStar App, at Casey Bubba, and at Joe Pisapia 17. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For Casey Bubba, I'm Joey P. There's nothing left to do now except step into the batter's box and go yard. We'll see you next time, kids.
You've been listening to the DFS On Deck podcast, brought to you by LineStar. Hit subscribe, tell a friend, and stay tuned for the next episode from fantasy baseball experts Joe Pisapia and KC Bubba.